Hello, it's Aimer again. Today I want to talk about top surgery and why it is not any form of mutilation, self-harm, etc. The reason why I talk about this is I got quite a few comments on my song Reborn, which is about top surgery, of people that think top surgery is a form of mutilation, of self-harm, that compare it even with the pro-ana movement, which I had not even ever thought about, like that such a comparison could be possible, could be made, but it's not been one person but like multiple people. They compare having top surgery and promoting it to the pro-anorexia movement, where anorexia is being promoted, being thin, extremely thin, like unhealthily thin is being promoted. I think it's a very scary comparison to be made. I want to show people that maybe think the same way as these people that made these comments, that there is literally no similarities between those two movements, if you even can call having top surgery and talking about that and talking about your happiness with like a movement. But okay, the first point that I want to make is having top surgery, it's not really a choice. If you need to do it, then you just need to do it because it is a form of suicide prevention. I know that sounds very extreme, but in many cases that's really what it is. It is a form of improving someone's mental health. Because if you're trans and gender-affirming surgery is something you need, then it will occupy a lot of space in your mind. That there is a certain body part or multiple body parts that just don't fit that view that you have of yourself. So if you can finally be able to get rid of that body part, and with a simple procedure like having top surgery, that literally has hardly any chance that you die from having this surgery. There's always a risk that you die under the anesthesia or something goes wrong, but the risk is so small that it literally cannot weigh, if you have like a balance, it cannot weigh up with the positive outcome that trans people have from this operation. If you look on the internet and you look at post-op top surgery videos, all trans people, they are so happy. You cannot fake that. It's literally because it's been weighing so much on their mind that they had this body part they didn't feel comfortable with, that they had to think about that all the time. You have to imagine that this is not something that just like happens once in a blue moon that you think about it. It's something that is always, either it's like here or it's like a little bit in the back, but it's somewhere in your head. When you wake up, when you do things, you are always reminded that in case of top surgery that you have breasts. There's so many things that remind you of that. You have to wear something here, you cannot freely show your chest, you feel it moving when you walk. There's like so many reminders, and the fact that when it's finally gone, trans people who need the surgery are so happy is because that weight is literally like gone. So first point that I want to make is having top surgery as a trans person is literally a way of suicide prevention, of taking your mental health in own hands and like moving towards a better future for yourself. It's not a choice, it's something that you need, because otherwise you might literally die because of suicide, or like you might feel miserable for the rest of your life. While the pro-anorexia movement, there's literally nothing positive about that. That's just promoting a way to die. Anorexia, it's an illness. You're too thin, you're not eating, you're hardly eating, you're maybe exercising way too much, all because you want to be thin. It's literally an illness that can, like, if you have had it, there's a big chance that you will have reminders of it for the rest of your life, and you will have to keep yourself in check for the rest of your life. You definitely need to look for help for that. But if you're promoting that, if you're promoting anorexia, of course you're promoting literally dying because you want to be thin. So in that way, there's like literally there's no similarities between that. And I see where people come from. I see what they think. They think Why is a trans person removing a part of their body? Why would you do that? It's a form of, causing harm. But I think you can only maybe 100% understand us if you are trans yourself, and if you're trans yourself, you know how it feels and you can understand better. But believe me, there's no similarities there between the two movements. Also, I am not, with my song, I'm not promoting people to have top surgery if they don't want that. I'm only saying I feel happy because I had it, and there's a lot of people who feel happy because they had it, but these people, they all needed to have it, like me. It's not like I'm saying if you're a cis person, please have top surgery. No, then that would be very wrong. That would give you gender dysphoria. So I'm not wishing that on anybody, but for a person like me, it can be such a lifesaver. Top surgery it's not harming anyone in any way. People in our environments, they can sometimes make it a lot about themselves, and okay, I understand there's a big change for them too, but don't forget that the person who is really going through the most difficult time is the trans person themselves. They have a lot of doubts. They need your support, because if you're going to say that you think it's mutilation, you don't want it, it's not going to keep that person from having that surgery. They will do it at some point in their lives if they really need it, because otherwise they will just be unhappy for the rest of their lives. And you have to understand, as a cis person, as family, as friends from the trans person, that you need to be there for that person, even if you don't fully understand. It's like, we all understand that for the people around us it's a big change, but that doesn't mean that the trans person needs to be the only person that has to take the emotions of the cis people around them in account, because that's another weight on them. There needs to be like a growing together, in my opinion, with the people around you. If that's not there, it's very, very difficult. I think if you want to make a comparison, it's best to compare top surgery not with a pro-anorexia movement, but for example with if someone has breast cancer and they get their breast removed after that, because maybe it's the only way to get rid of the cancer. Of course it's not the same. You're not having cancer normally, a trans person, if we get rid of our breast. It's because it's something mental that's related to the physical. But both surgeries are there to improve someone's health, whether it's mental health for a trans person or it's for someone who has breast cancer, it's their physical health. But we all know that mental health and physical health are very intertwined. So for a trans person, their mental health will improve, but their physical health may also improve. They may take better care of themselves because they have had that top surgery or that gender reforming surgery in general. They may take their life more in their own hands. So the physical and the mental can be intertwined. Breast removal surgery after cancer, it's not the same. But I'm saying, if you want to make a comparison, don't compare having top surgery with anorexia, because that's really hurtful actually to hear. Another point that I want to make is in general about surgeries. If a cis woman would have a surgery to enlarge her breasts, would you react in the same way as you would react to a trans person that is getting rid of the breasts? Because in my opinion, what you do to the body there is not that much of a difference. In one case you make something bigger, and in the other case you remove it or you make it less apparent. Because some of us trans people, if we have gender dysphoria around our chest, we will opt for breast reduction instead of breast removal. That's also an option. So just a question that I have for the people that compare having top surgery with self-harm: would you also see a woman who wants to have larger breasts and has an operation for that? Would you see that as self-harm? Because if the answer is no, then I think you should really think about why you think differently for a trans person. There's not much of a difference to the body there. So that may be some transphobia that you got, internalized by growing up or something, but yeah, I just want you to think about that, please, because otherwise it's quite a double standard you have there, and it's not nice, you know. In general, it makes me quite angry, frustrated, and mostly sad. What makes me frustrated about comments like these is that I know they happen a lot, and I've seen them happen. I've seen people around me in the queer community talk about this. I've heard things like this myself, where, you know, family, friends of a trans person, the first reaction after their trans kid or their trans friend says, I need hormone replacement therapy, HRT, or I need a gender affirming surgery, is, why would you do that? This is a form of mutilation. What are you doing to yourself? I would never do that. And the thing is, I always understand where everything is coming from, because people are just afraid of change in general. So a trans person, having a trans person in your life, it's like being confronted with a big change, and it might be for a long time that this person is changing in front of your eyes, and you have to accept that it is happening. And, you know, I understand that there's like a kind of fear, and also society is so gendered that people are having a hard time letting go of everything that is, you know, coming with this big change in gender. What I do want to say is that giving these kind of remarks, you're basically saying what you're doing is harming yourself. It doesn't help the trans and or non-binary person in any way. It just makes them feel like they don't have your support in their transition and their support in getting better. Because this is what they need to feel better, to be themselves, to feel better in their body. So if you're saying, I don't want this for you, please reconsider. You're like saying, I'm not really wanting to help you. I don't want you to get better. I think you're fine now. I think you're happy now. So I just think that, and it should be true. And it's not what it is. The trans person will tell you that they are unhappy in some ways related to their body. If they need HRT or they need gender affirming surgery. If you're not educated on the topic, of course it's difficult to understand, but trans people, they are not expecting you to understand everything immediately. We just want like the very basic thing that anyone wants in their lives, and that's like just to be loved unconditionally and to be understood for what we say after a long time of suppressing everything, and just to be supported, just to be told, okay, maybe I don't understand everything, but I will be there for you, and you just let me know if I'm doing something good or if I'm doing something wrong. I will do better. That's the only thing that we want. But hearing that what we need is, according to you, a form of harm, self-harm, it doesn't help in any way, and it's also not true. It's just not true. So I'm sorry, but it's not true. The thing that is also being said a lot is, why would you do that to your breasts when we're talking about top surgery? Your breasts are so beautiful. And it's like, yeah. It's not about being beautiful or not being beautiful. It's about having something that maybe if you look at it objectively, it's not ugly, it's looking fine, but it doesn't feel like it's yours. So would you like having something very beautiful on your body, but it doesn't feel like it belongs to you? No, you wouldn't. You're like talking besides the point with that remark. It's in the same realm of comments like, for example, I cut my hair way shorter than before when I came out as trans. Like people saying, oh my god, I saw a picture of you with your long hair. It was so beautiful. You look so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, I know the intention. I know you're like just meaning well. But what you're actually saying to me is probably that you liked my appearance more before I transitioned, and I don't know what to do with that, because I don't. To me, it's not a person that I want to be again. It felt a bit fake to me, if I look at it in hindsight. Also, it's not like people who are trans, they just decide like one day, now I'm going to have some top surgery. It takes years, it takes so much time to first realize it, then accepting yourself that you really need it, going on the waiting list, waiting. for a very long time and then coming out to your environment probably, or maybe not, but that's also difficult if you don't do it. It's not like we do it in one day. So that argument, are you sure about it? Well, maybe you're not sure, and if someone is talking about having top surgery and how happy it made them, the comments can be from a cis person, now you're promoting that and you're going to make young children who are trans, you're going to put it in their heads that they need this surgery, and it's very, very problematic. But the thing is, if a kid is already thinking they're trans, there's a big chance they are. And of course, there are like all kinds of measurements in place that the kid will not do it like immediately at the first thought of I am being trans, because sometimes they're just a girl who is more androgynously looking, you know, or a boy who is, you know, it can be that they are still the gender they were assigned at birth, but maybe it's not about their gender. So it's good to sometimes think about that. But you know, it's not like trans people have gender affirming surgeries immediately. We have to think about it a lot for ourselves, because we don't want to do something we will regret in the future. And also, you need to do so many things to prove that you are trans and that you need this surgery, and in so much desperate need that we will get this surgery or this hormone replacement therapy. Please leave these comments at home. No, don't even leave them there. Like, take a shovel and put them in the ground, because they're not helping anyone, and you know the answer. Everyone thinks about this quite some time. It's not something we do on a whim. It's something we really think about a lot. So my point of this whole video is just like, I hope this helps people understand that top surgery is not a form of self-harm. It's not a form of mutilation. And to close the whole thing here, I also had one comment of someone comparing top surgery to breast ironing. Breast ironing is a form of, you know, harm done to young girls that don't have any say in that happening. It scars them physically and mentally. It's not a good comparison, because they don't have a say in that happening, and it's real harm because they don't choose for that. It's someone else who does it to them. But a trans person who has top surgery, they decide for themselves to have that. They know they need that, and it's actually a way of suicide prevention. Okay, I think I'm going to end this there. If you like my rambling about topics like these, please click the subscribe button and give my music a listen if you like. And let me know in the comments if you have any topic you would like me to discuss, because I do want to make more videos talking about topics like these that really like are close to my heart, to be honest. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Now I am home. I can feel wind on my skin. Feel true love from within. Battle sky.